everyone, and welcome to our currently unnamed podcast that we are doing because, like everyone else, we are currently locked in our homes and we've got nothing better to do. Joining me today, we have lovely Tara.
Hello!
She's very lovely. And we've got Kieran, who's sitting next to me. He's less lovely.
Hello.
And we were meant to be a team of 4, but unfortunately, after an hour of technical issues, our fourth co-host, Danny, has been unable to join us today because his Mac would not let Audacity work.
I blame Steve Jobs.
So he will be here in spirit, but we shall forge on bravely without him, and hopefully if he messages us halfway through this, we might be able to try and add him to this. So we started doing this podcast, I want to say, like 5 years ago.
Oh, minimum.
Because it was during our second year of uni. For context, me, Tara, and Danny went to uni together.
I was there.
Kieran was there.
Whom is this mysterious Danny we've never heard?
He really is the one who holds it all together. So we are lost without him. And we did it a couple of years ago. We had fun with it, and it's something we've always wanted to kind of pick back up. But because of the business of lives and jobs, we've never been able to. And then Tara had the great idea the other day of saying, let's do the podcast again. So that's what we're doing. And that is why we're here. So Tara, how are you today? How's your day? Good day? Bad day?
Good in terms of sunshine through the window. Thank you, sun. Otherwise, pretty average. Pretty average lockdown day, I would say. How was your day?
It was, again, pretty similar. Like, lovely that the sunshine is out. Shame we can't go outside to experience it, but it's nice that it's there. And I've got a really annoying co-worker at the moment who's just very loud, very disturbing in meetings, leaves mugs of tea everywhere. Kieran, how was your day?
It's great. It's multiple cups of tea and several coffees. Messed up the office real good, but don't worry, the cleaner will be around later to sort it all out.
No, the cleaner can't come.
I'm probably the cleaner.
For those who aren't our friends who listen to this, me and Kieran do live together. He is my annoying colleague. Okay, so let's move bravely on.
Colleague and partner also.
Like, we don't really want to put labels on it. Like, it's a bit soon for that.
Yeah, it's only been 8 years. Okay, whatever. Let's move on.
Let's move on. So I came up with the idea today after having a bit of a scroll through Disney Plus, which has finally reached the UK, and seeing a movie on there, which when I was about 15, 16, I absolutely loved. And as a 27-year-old lady, probably shouldn't love it anymore. So our kind of discussion topic for today is movies that we loved, like absolutely loved as kids, but now that we're slightly more grown, realise we probably shouldn't have loved it as much as we did.
Oh, yeah.
So Kieran, I'm going to go throw it to you to kick off.
I've got 2. And I'm going to
start with one, and we'll go around.
I'll start with my first one, which is the movie Evolution.
Oh!
Evolution is an incredible... I would describe it as the quintessential B movie. It stars the guy from X-Men and an actor...
What guy from X-Men? It's David Duchovny.
It's David Duchovny, and an actor who I'm pretty sure was in no other things. I'll have to quickly IMDb
It's Sean William Scott, I want to say.
Sean William Scott is in it.
And then there's, like, the other guy.
There's the other guy who, honestly, I don't know if he's ever been in a movie since. I'm sure that's really offensive, and he's probably, like, a really famous stage actor or something. But he genuinely, like...
Haven't seen anything. The only thing I really remember about that movie is A, not liking it, B, Julianne Moore is in it, and for some reason she gets... No, David Duchovny's, like, shamed for being, like, a sex pest or something. And he is one in real... He's like a sex addict in real life.
No,
and I found that weird. And then C, there's like a Head and Shoulders commercial in it.
Yeah. So the whole movie is a Head and Shoulders commercial. The one weakness of the alien invaders is selenium contained in Head and Shoulders anti-dandruff shampoo, which I still use to this day because of the movie Evolution.
No, that's not why you have that in our house.
No, and also terrible skin. But primarily it's because of Evolution.
Am I misremembering my second point? Because I remember there being like an ongoing joke about like Julianne Moore, like say his name's like Blake, that she called like Blake disease or something.
Ira Madness. No, okay, so in the movie, Ira Kane, David Duchovny, he is a scientist who invented an anthrax vaccine back during the Gulf War, but the vaccine was untested, used on soldiers, or not thoroughly tested enough, used on soldiers, and drove them insane. And it would cause like irritation and rage, and they called it the Ira Madness. So there's a joke that Julianne Moore's character Alison has Cane Madness.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
I'm fairly sure I've only ever seen this movie once at the theatre.
I have seen it
theatre?
dozens
At the cinema.
of
Where am I?
times.
But I remember as a child thinking they were making a joke about having an STI.
I mean, that is one way of reading the joke about a Cane Madness.
But
yes.
like, when did this come out? 'Cause
It came out in 2001.
2001. So I was 8, and I was fairly sure they were making jokes at Julianne Moore's expense about her having an STD.
I did not see it in the cinema, but I had it on DVD.
You mean
There
the
was-
theatre?
The theatre.
There was an animated series from 2001 to 2002
No.
following Evolution, which I
I
did
remember
watch
that.
and
yeah.
enjoyed. Yeah, they had a little alien sort of three-eyed Slimer thing as a little sidekick.
Oh my! I do not remember that.
It's a great show.
Although, side note, does anyone remember the Godzilla
Yes.
TV series? And there was like a
Yes.
cute baby Godzilla, or like, and they were on a boat a lot, like a speedboat. Anyway, side
Yeah.
note. Carry on.
And well, the movie is terrible and like a little bit sexist, and there's probably some racist stuff in there, and all round just an amazing cringe fest, and I loved it.
But do you still love it?
Shamefully, I think if I watched it again, the nostalgia would hold me.
Yeah,
I would
it
have a good
overpowers what the reality is, I think.
Yeah.
Tara, have you seen Evolution and do
Yeah.
you like it?
But all I can remember is some weird monsters and the shampoo. Like, that's it. See, I didn't even remember it was Head and Shoulders, so that didn't even work on me.
Oh.
The strapline for the movie was some weird monsters and the shampoo. That's how they advertised it.
What child wouldn't watch that? Like,
Yeah.
I think, actually, I remember you trying to make me rewatch
I
it.
remember.
And
you
me being
rejecting
too
it
angry
wholesale.
to
Yeah.
watch it.
angry at what? Oh, the STI thing?
I don't remember. I just remember being like, I hate this. It was a lot. Do you remember like when Sean William Scott used to be in like everything?
It was
Yeah.
peak Sean William Scott.
and
It
I was just like,
the
I
top of the Sean
don't
William
get
Scott
this.
curve.
It's a little bit how I feel about Rebel Wilson now.
Just sort of everywhere.
Like you
and
do the
everyone
same thing in every movie, and I don't find you funny.
Well, yes, fair enough.
Sorry, side note. You know, I mentioned earlier I watched a little bit of our old podcast. One of the things
Yeah.
we said, because it was about Wolf of Wall Street, I think it was you said Margot Robbie was a newcomer. And it's like, that feels such an odd thing to say now.
Newcomer Margot Shiny Penny Margot Robbie.
You embrace to call her Margot.
Oh. Margot Robbie is legit good in everything, though. I've not seen a movie in which I thought she was bad. She's great in
International
everything.
sensation, Margot Robbie. Superstar. Household name.
Anyway, Tara, I'm going to throw it on to you now.
Wait, I have one more thing to say about Evolution.
I will not throw it
Okay.
on to Tara. Carry on, Kieran.
Wait, I forgot. So the thing that I know why I loved Evolution so much as a kid, because this is something that you don't really have these days. The US Army were the bad guys, and the good guys were plucky scientists.
Wow.
That does not happen it was like the army is reckless and aggressive, but us, plucky scientists who use pipettes and test tubes, we will save the day with our science. No movies did that.
No,
As a
like,
as a
everything-
young science fan,
Yeah. Everything is
drew
like
me.
science went too far.
yeah,
Like monster, like they like Stranger Things, science went too far.
yeah.
Super 8, science went too far. Like the army guys are there, but they're not
Yeah.
like explicitly the bad
Transformers
guys.
army is always like the good guy.
Yeah, that's because they
didn't
sponsor the movies.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
funded it, didn't they?
Maybe because of films like Evolution, making them look like dicks. All right,
Was
that's
it
my
when-
piece on Evolution.
When the army, or maybe it was both, the army and the scientists were the bad guys in E.T.
I've got a confession to make. I don't think I've ever seen E.T. all the way through without falling asleep.
No, I definitely haven't.
Like, I've tried to, and I've suggested us actually watching it a couple of times because I'm like, I want to watch E.T. because I love the theme park ride E.T. at Universal Studios
I have
Orlando.
a vague memory of that. It is a really good ride.
It holds up. And like it's hilarious because like Steven Spielberg like has said to Universal, you can't get rid of this ride, otherwise I'll pull all support from you. So like
The ride is
next
trash.
episode, childhood rides that hold up.
oh my god, I would go on for days. I would go on for days.
Sorry,
Like, they're-
teacup ride. You're out.
Teacup Ride is absolutely out. It's like 100% ET. It's 100% Small World. Carousel of Progress. Absolutely.
Is Jurassic Park, is that ride still good? Because I have really good memories
Oh my
of
god,
that.
it is hilarious because
It's falling apart.
it's falling apart. Like when you have like the dinosaurs like raising their heads, they kind of like jutter, and like you can see like that the thing that's like making up their skin just kind of like wobbles.
Oh
Flapping in the
god.
breeze.
And there are some that just don't move anymore, and like they're all water stained, and it's just like it's a trip. They're probably going to refresh it though, because they've changed it in Hollywood, and they are building a new roller
In
coaster.
Anaheim. In California. The California one they've changed.
Yeah, Universal Studios Hollywood.
I thought it was in Anaheim.
No, that's Disneyland.
Alright, whatever.
Anyway, do you want to throw that hot potato on to start?
Yeah, Tara. Alright, that was my bit.
Well, my pick has a little bit in common with yours, Kieran, because it's not that it is maybe objectively a bad film, it's that it doesn't hold up in today's woke climate, in that it is very, very misogynistic. But it does still exist in our world in a modern take, and that is the Bond franchise.
Ooh.
And I'm talking like
Interesting.
Sean Connery, the OG James Bond. Because I don't know if your family ever did this, you get a videotape, you put it in the TV, and when they show the film on TV, you record it.
Yeah.
So we
Oh,
had
nice.
all the James Bond, all the Indiana Jones, all of those, we used to watch them on repeat all the time. And I used to just really, really love that. I think more because it reminded me of just family time. But I haven't watched them recently, but I have read a lot about them, and just understanding how ridiculous he behaved towards other people, particularly ethnic minorities, women. Just wasn't a great guy, but he was meant to be the hero. So yeah, that's my pick.
So are we specifically saying Connery Bond, or is this leaking into Brosnan?
Yeah, arguably yes. But I was thinking more Connery just for now. But yeah, Brosnan wasn't too great.
Do you think you could rewatch the Connery ones, knowing the context of the time, and still be able to enjoy it and not overlook, but kind of put a pin in how distasteful some of it is?
I don't think I put a pin in it because it's just so in your face.
Right,
He
it's
treats
too
people-
blatant.
And that's like most of his character is that he treats people like this and he can get away with it.
Yeah.
It's not even the cool spy stuff. It's just the like, what would you call it, being suave, or you know? That
He's
kind
just
of
got a
cool
nice
attitude.
voice.
But arguably that has spilled over even into kind of the Daniel Craig era, because in the last, what was the last one called? Was that Spectre?
Yeah.
In Spectre,
yeah.
when he hooks up with a quote unquote older woman, also known as a woman the same age as him.
Yeah.
And I remember when we saw it, the woman who ends up being his love interest, I thought the big twist was that she was going to be his daughter. Like, genuinely. Because the age difference is there.
Yeah, that would make
She
a
was
lot of
blonde,
sense.
Um,
he was blonde.
And when they started making out, I was like, I got this way off.
It could still happen in a really messed up way.
Yeah, Star Wars did it.
Oh, no. It's been like 3 months. Still can't talk about Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, we can't talk about Star Wars at all. But okay. I mean, I feel like I respect liking James Bond.
Yeah, I think. Do you think like the aesthetic of it, you can still kind of enjoy that side of it, or do you reckon just how kind of obtrusive some of the treatment of women is in those
No,
movies?
I can respect the kind of vision it creates of the era, because it's very 60s, and they did kind of explore the world in a lot of the films. I mean, I don't know how realistic they were, but it was the first kind of exotic stuff I saw, and first thing I saw that was this, what was it, kind of quintessential Britishness, because it's such a big part of British culture, but a iconic part of British culture.
Mm.
that I always understood what Bond was, what he represented. So I could enjoy that part, but I'm just not sure I could get over what a dick he is.
Yeah, at least in like the new one, I can't remember the actress's name, but they have 007 is now a woman because he's lost that title.
Yeah, but I feel like, right, based purely on advertising, I feel like they've gone potentially a little too far in the like, oh, she's really great, it's fine. Like, she's really super capable and keeps being mean to James Bond in a way that I fear may be too far.
So maybe overcompensating.
Oh, that's the word I'm looking for.
Okay, interesting. We'll find out when the movie eventually comes out in 2023.
Yeah.
Along with New Mutants.
New Mutants, that has never seen the light of day. Maybe they might put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to do what they did with Song of the South and just throw it in the Disney vault, never let her out.
What Song of the South?
You don't know? Do you know the song Zippity Doodah?
Yeah.
That is from a film called Song of the South, which Disney made kind of way back when, one of the first live action movies they did, and it has very kind of problematic elements.
It's just mega
in it.
racist, not just like a bit problematic, like mega racist.
Like an actual like Uncle Tom character in it, who tells charming stories about Briar Rabbit and Briar Fox and all this kind of thing. But it is about like a white kid being told stories by a slave, pretty much. It's really not great, and Disney have tried to bury it as much as they can and have like never released it on DVD. It got like one run on VHS and that was it, and they never reference it, which is very strange because in Disney World, in Magic Kingdom, Splash Mountain is entirely themed around the cartoon section of Song of the South, because everyone loves Zippity Doodah because it's such a great song. So that the whole ride is based on that, but they will not acknowledge that it's from Song of the South.
Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it. It's really hard to track down because it's only really available on like kind of dark parts of the internet because there are no hard copies of it.
You can buy drugs and find Song of the South. The dark web.
It is like, it's genuinely really interesting because like Disney have done like a lot of problematic things in the past, like notably a lot of the shorts they did during World War II, in which Donald Duck is an actual Nazi.
Oh, Nazi Donald.
But they have
Whose
released
side
those
was he on?
Well, that was the thing. It was supposed to be like he's a Nazi and he keeps like goofing up genuinely in like kind of armament like factories and stuff. Like he makes missiles and shit. It's mad. It's actually mad. But they released those as DVD collections in which they kind of put the historical context around it. So there's been an argument like, could you not do this with Song of the South? But they have not. So that's been buried. I don't know how I got on this tangent about Song of the South, but there you go.
Lisa, what is your childhood movie that you loved that you should now as an adult know you shouldn't love?
Okay, so this was the one that I saw streaming on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh no. My fear is that I will still absolutely love it. My choice is Avatar.
You will absolutely love it, 100%. I'm sorry, I just know this already.
Because, just for context, it came out in, I believe, 2009, when I was exactly 16. I was deeply in the throes of Twilight at this point and had grown up a massive fan of sci-fi. So when you had a forbidden love story set in space with like big machines and stuff, I was like, this is just the perfect movie. I saw it 5 times at the cinema. 5.
That is incredible. And they were expensive tickets for the time as well.
I went and saw it at the IMAX with my dad.
Ooh.
What?
Like,
As in the one by Waterloo?
Yeah. Like the one, the big
that
one in London.
That would have been like at least 20 quid a ticket.
Yep.
It was the biggest screen in Europe at the time.
Yep. Went and saw it there. Not that was the last time I saw it, was when we went to the IMAX. Because basically, me and my dad used to subscribe to Total Film and SFX magazines, and they used to kind of do like special featurettes on things and kind of got a first look at things. And I just remember my dad just saying to me like, this is going to change filmmaking and cinema. You're not going to see anything like this. So literally opening night, I went with my parents. I was so excited about it. I remember like kind of that opening shot where you kind of goes over the trees. And to be fair to James Cameron, it's like one of the only times that 3D has ever properly like really worked, just for like that kind of depth perception more than anything. And it looked great. But kind of looking back on it now with kind of clearer eyes, what the hell was that villain about? When he's like, we're not in Kansas anymore, and he's got like the 3 like scars on his face. Like General Scar.
Yeah, but is that truly more ridiculous than Unobtainium?
Unobtainium,
Oh,
absolute
God.
classic.
Okay. Right, wait, before we just totally drag the film, I want to say there are a few things that are genuinely good about it, right?
Yeah.
The world design is good, the
Yeah.
graphics are amazing. When Jake sings Colours of the Wind, it is really quite beautiful.
Yes, it is exactly the Pocahontas story, just like all over again. It is a bit of a rip-off, but the visuals are stunning. Like the whole thing with the banshees and stuff, that's really cool. It does look great, but there's just so much like really problematic coding in that movie.
Right.
Like the kind of having the Na'vi, they're very heavily coded as kind of being like tribal African.
Well, yeah, fair.
And like with a bit of like Native American thrown in there for good measure. It is a little bit ick in some places because it's like supposed to be like they're meant to be like an alien race completely separate from us.
Yeah.
Yet somehow they seem to follow the traditions of kind of
all tribal people
yeah.
that James Cameron like ran into on his Wikipedia read before he started writing.
Yeah, it just seems a little bit yikes, and then it is still like kind of the white male hero who saves the day. It's a little bit Dances with Wolves, which is another film which is kind of problematic when you think about it, which my mum loves, and I told her once, and we had a very big argument about Dances with Wolves being a very problematic movie. Yeah, and it's something I do feel a bit embarrassed to say that I still like Avatar because it's just smashy, crashy, sci-fi fun with a bit of romance thrown in there. I love the fact that it's taken like 12 years for the second one to still not be out.
It is on an indefinite hiatus at the moment because of
everything is
because of the event.
because everything is.
Because everything's on
event.
indefinite hiatus. Yeah.
But another good. I keep on tying this back to theme parks. I'm very proud of this. One of the biggest benefits of Avatar coming out was that they built Flight of Passage at Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is to the date the best ride I've ever been on.
It's incredible.
It's brilliant, and you don't even need to know anything about the movies to enjoy it. And what they did at Animal Kingdom was very impressive with the floating mountains. But looking back on it, I probably shouldn't like it as much as I loved the movie. Like, absolutely loved the movie. Yeah, but
I honestly think it's just because no one had ever spent that much money on making alien-looking stuff.
yeah, it was truly bombastic.
Yeah. And all it was literally like, what if we have X but 6 legs? Panther but 6 legs.
But do you remember the hair sex?
Yeah, that was kind of
Oh.
weird.
God damn.
But he
why
does
would
the
you
same
remind me
thing
about that?
with the horse. Like, you connect with the horse and you connect with the banshee, and then you like what does it mean?
What does it mean?
And like the hair sex scene is just really like I've seen this movie more times than I cared to admit. Like when they like their head connects, like his eyes bulge, like whoa, like he's like feeling something, and it's like, did you feel that with the horse and with the flying thing?
Does anyone else, when you watch it, I mean, you're the expert at this, when you watch it, do you ever feel like it's 2 films? Because you get to what point is it? Where they basically start the big war.
Yeah, when they
Af-
destroy like kind of like their tree or whatever it's called.
To me it always feels like 2 films, but for some reason I always catch it on TV when it's halfway through in the second film to me.
Mm.
So I'm like, oh, this is just like the sequel part, basically. It could have easily been 2 films, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was
very like a lot happened. A lot happened.
It is endlessly long. I'm really so excited to see the second one, not because I like love the story, care about the characters. I don't really. It's more I want to see how they would do that in our current kind of climate in a way, because I don't think people would be as willing to see 6 foot like blue aliens that are wearing like feather headdresses and stuff. Speaking
No.
with slight like, with accents.
Vague accent.
Yeah.
Vague,
Very
but not
vague.
quite placeable
Nondescript
accent.
accents. It's a little bit
Well,
yikes.
I don't know. I mean, there's lots of stuff that does carry through, like all the messaging about like protecting nature and
If they just lean hard,
environmentalism.
yeah, if they lean hard into that, I think it will fly. But ultimately, it's still a little bit yikes. So yeah, that's my first pick. Kieran, do you have a second pick?
I do have a second pick, and I'd like to paint you a picture.
Paint me a picture. Paint me a word
Right.
picture.
It's sort of 2004, 2005. DVD players are just coming in. We have a DVD player at my house. And, DVD players, you could do proper rewinding and playing again. Me and all of my cousins from New York and Florida, 12 of us, in a room around the big TV with the DVD player, rewinding and replaying one scene from one movie for hours. And that scene is Rush Hour 2, when Chris Tucker does karaoke in Chinatown and sings Michael Jackson. And god damn it, I don't know why, but it was the funniest thing in the world to us. And the movie, I know it is just a ball of of crass jokes and racism. And the guy who directed it, I think Brett Ratner's a terrible person.
Oh yeah, Brett Ratner's a bad person.
He's a bad person. But goddamn, I loved Rush Hour 2. Not really the Rush Hour series. 1 and 3 were like passable at best. But Rush Hour 2 specifically was an absolute romp. Chris Tucker is hilarious. He can only do impressions of Michael Jackson, but nobody is better than him at it.
Even Michael Jackson.
Even Michael Jackson. The late Michael Jackson is not better at doing Michael Jackson impressions than Chris Tucker. Jackie Chan does an amazing job as the straight man. They have like loads of really good banter between them. It's got Ziyi Zhang, the woman from all of the Crouching Tiger and House of Flying Daggers and Hero. She's actually genuinely good in it as a bad guy. Why am I saying genuinely good? She's good in most things. She's in it and as a bad guy. It's got tension. It's got drama. It is hilarious, and it's a terrible film.
So I want you to weigh in because I know that you are also a fan of this movie.
Yeah, I have no shame about this. I would still argue that is a great film. Every time I watch it, it makes me very, very happy. I love Chris Tucker. Because there's something very authentic about him, and you can just tell he's having so much fun, and he's just a good guy going along for the ride, and it's just, I love that film. No shame whatsoever. Good on you, Kieran. Good man.
Wait, I've only seen this movie once.
Right.
And I saw it with the two of you because you made me watch it.
It's just a great film. But the great thing about Chris Tucker is he's not actually a very good actor. He's just being himself. There are so many outtakes where he calls Jackie instead of Lee, the name of the character.
So much.
I mean, I did try to watch it, and you guys were dying at all the jokes, and I was like, I don't get why this is funny.
Because you weren't 10 years old when you saw it first.
I remember there was a bit during when they're in Chinatown, and it just felt very, very uncomfortable the entire time.
Problematic. There is an extended scene where Brett Ratner plays a very camp gay fashion designer and is way overdoing it. It's really awkward and uncomfortable. And everyone in the scene is gritting their teeth through it. Jackie Chan looks like he's dying for the whole scene. And it's kept basically unedited in the film.
The only thing I would say about it that I really did enjoy was Jackie Chan. He was great in it.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
He's all the fight sequences and stuff, they were generally very good. I don't think... I think you needed to be young to get it, and I just didn't get it.
Absolutely, because
definitely.
anyone who's mature enough to know how ridiculous things they're doing are would not enjoy it. It does, however, contain my favourite line in a blooper of any blooper that I've ever seen.
Can I guess?
Yeah, do it.
Is it when at the end when the guy dies?
Yes.
And then he goes, he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
It's so good.
Can we just have a shout out to bloopers in general? They don't
I
do
miss
bloopers at the end of movies anymore.
Might be better than Rush Hour 2.
Yeah, I would watch the bloopers again. It's something that we're missing in the modern age. My favourite bloopers were in early Pixar movies where they would animate.
I was going to say it's specifically Toy Story 2.
Toy Story 2 and Bugs Life where they did
so
bloopers.
So funny.
It was
in Toy
genius.
Story 2 they have Bugs Life in it in part of their bloopers.
Yes.
So good, and they have Barbie at the end. She's like, "Can I stop smiling now?" And gold.
They've gone out of fashion now.
Netflix has all of like they have everything they need to do it. They just need to have like a little button,
Actually,
bloopers and special features.
I have seen bloopers on Netflix, and that was in The Kissing Booth. Another movie which I regret to say I've seen probably at least 5 times.
Why?
Whenever I'm ill, I'm just like, I'll just put this on. And that is a problematic movie. Like, he negs her for like so much of it. He's a bad dude. She should run away. But she's like, I can change him. And she does.
Oh, no.
I'm going to give Tara a minute because she's laughing very heavily at me.
those you can just tell from the poster, like those kind of Netflix films.
Yeah, those are the ones I watch. I really like those movies. Like, I frequently go onto the Kissing Booth, and then, you know, the section where it's like, other people have watched. Or you may also
use
like...
the Kissing Booth as your like, algorithmic feed.
as like a metric
stuff.
to find out other movies I may like.
Use it as a trash detector.
I'm ashamed. Anyway, speaking of shame, Tara, what's your pick number 2?
Oh, I haven't thought of a pick number 2. Sorry.
All right.
So well organised.
Do you want to be Danny's honourable mention? Danny, who could not join us tonight.
Yes, of course, I will. Danny, I'm sure you're listening. Danny's pick for this evening is Wild Wild West, starring Will Smith, and I don't know the other guy's name.
Oh my god, I can see his face.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can do this. Don't tell me, Kieran, I can absolutely get this. I feel like it's a Kevin.
It is a Kevin.
Oh my gosh, it's Kevin Kline.
Kevin Kline, indeed.
Nice.
Yeah, I got there in the end.
And also in it is Kenneth Branagh, Salma Hayek, Emmett Walsh. No, okay, Ted Levine. Okay, other people, but Salma Hayek and Kenneth Branagh are in this movie.
I only just realised that was Kenneth Branagh, the bad guy, right?
Yeah,
That's
Kenneth
crazy.
Branagh plays the bad guy.
I love Kenneth Branagh and everything because he is like the definition of extra.
This
Yes.
movie was supposed to be good. The budget was huge. Famous actors. Will Smith turned down The Matrix for this movie.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's the most famous thing about it now.
Is that he could have been in... But can you imagine The Matrix with Will Smith?
No, it would be
I feel like
definitely
I
worse.
could imagine it now, but not back then. Not 90s Will Smith.
No, far too goofy.
Yeah. But then I suppose we thought that, I mean, maybe not because we were quite young at the time, but maybe thought that of Keanu Reeves because he did a lot of comedy roles as well.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. That's fair.
Yeah, but Keanu got range. Will Smith hasn't had range since The Fresh Prince.
Oh, no. I'd actually argue the way around. Keanu has only recently got range, and that's because he learnt how to channel his stoicness into badassery for John Wick, and he's become very self-aware and able to make fun of himself, and we love Keanu, we stan.
Yeah, he
yes.
was like doing Bill and Ted and The Matrix back in the day.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, but that's range. It's not as good range as fully formed Mega
Well, but you can
Keanu.
also say, like, but Will Smith has also been in, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but then he's also been, like, Pursuit of Happiness. Like, he's done quite a lot of serious roles, and he
Yeah,
is
but
good
wasn't
in them.
Good in Pursuit of Happiness.
No, he is a very talented actor who chooses bad scripts. Consistently chooses bad scripts. And sometimes writes them after Earth We're Looking at You.
Oh my god, I deleted that from my brain.
I think I've tried watching that
What do
movie
you
a couple
mean?
times. Do you know
Take
when
a
he was
knee.
with Jaden Smith?
Oh, no, I remember.
M. Night
After Earth.
Shyamalan?
But how can you say he chooses bad scripts with amazing lines like "Fairy lives don't matter today"?
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, that was too...
He does choose bad movies.
Just
And he is a really talented actor. Like, I want him to get a role, because he went through a whole, like, phase where it was like, it was Pursuit of Happiness, £7, and there's another one I'm
that's when
forgetting.
he really wanted that Oscar.
When he really wanted that Oscar.
I
and
liked
he's never-
£7 when I saw it. I'll put my hands up and say it. I did. Sorry, y'all.
I mean, I've never seen it. I liked Pursuit of Happiness, except for the fact they spelled happiness wrong. I know they reference it in the movie, but it's just always bothered me. Because they spell it with a Y, and like they point out in the movie, like, oh, happiness is spelled with an I, and that doesn't make it okay that they misspell the word happiness in the title of their movie.
Why did they do that?
Why did they do it, Kieran?
Oh.
Well, he was
All
great
right,
in
I'm-
I Am Legend. I really felt
Yeah.
that role.
I Am Legend is such a good movie, and I wish they'd stuck with the original ending, because
It's one of the few books I've read, and it had a very poignant and powerful ending.
the ending they rejected is so much better than the one they went with, and it fits thematically, and there's like kind of consistent kind of visual cues throughout the movie with like butterflies and stuff and metamorphosis that just kind of does not go anywhere unless you have the original ending.
No, they went for shallow action, didn't they?
Yeah, and like happiness, like, oh, they found like a commune. And it's like, no, it's way better, like so much more poignant. It's all the kind of nice things, people.
The actual book ending was that he was captured by the vampires. He's kept in a lab / prison in vampire society. Looks out and sees that they're living. They have a proper society, and that they're like living well and like looking after each other, and realizes that the human race has been replaced and kills himself.
Yeah, he takes cyanide or something, doesn't he? Yeah.
And that's so poignant and powerful.
That's why it's called I Am Legend.
Yeah, because he's the last human, and and humanity fades into legend with his death.
Yeah, but the studio, that's too deep. Like they just want people to enjoy it, not to think too much about it. I assume is what happened, and then they just kept it really simple. Arguably too simple.
Too simple. God damn.
But it's amazing how like 3 minutes of a movie can entirely change how you feel about it. Because that ending is only about 3 to 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And that simple change, it makes such a huge difference. And I really love I Am Legend now. I used to hate it after having seen the original ending because it's so much stronger.
I mean, it's the same with Avatar, right? Imagine how much worse it would be if Jake didn't sing All the Colours of the Wind.
It's not All the Colours of the Wind, it's just Colours of the Wind. And I stand by Avatar.
Can I just say, Wild Wild West? Definitely get where Danny's coming from. And it was a very enjoyable movie at the time. I have not seen it in a very long time, though. How about you guys?
I've never actually seen it.
Never seen it, and I'm really keen to watch it.
Do you know the song?
Oh, I know
everyone
the
knows
song
the
with Cisco. What happened to Cisco? He had that and the thong song, and he just disappeared into obscurity.
That's amazing.
The thong song is "You're rich for life. You don't need to work anymore."
No, that is like lightning in a bottle.
Well, if you give Wild Wild West a watch, just put yourself in your 90s mindset and just roll with it, because it is quite wild.
I love it.
All right, does that bring us back to you, Alyssa?
Yeah, this is my final pick. And again, this isn't something that I watched. I haven't really picked things from me as a child. I've more picked things from my most awkward time of my life, my teenage years. And I remember so vividly watching this movie and like after it finishing, like kind of going into a different room, sitting down silently and thinking, my life will never be the same after having seen this movie. And that
Please
movie
say Twilight.
was The Notebook.
Almost.
And was life ever the same after that?
No, absolutely. I just remember being like, I will never be the same after that. It's the best movie I've ever seen. I'm forever changed. That was beautiful. That is true love. And like really genuinely believing that feeling of this is the greatest movie ever. I still quite like the movie. It's like it's fine.
I've seen it. It was a passable film.
I made you watch it on a plane once.
Ryan Gosling does a solid job.
Like it's fine as a movie, but I remember like when that came out, that just being like a movement of like every girl loving The Notebook, every girl wanting to be kissed in the rain, every girl wanting a guy to go insane for her and build her a dream house. Like that was like a thing. Like I really remember it being like a thing of like, oh, have you seen The Notebook?
I haven't seen this film. It sounds quite odd. Why is he building her a house?
So it's supposed to be that they're kind of like childhood sweethearts, and they kind of meet one summer. He's like from like the wrong side of town. Her family's like a very wealthy family who are kind of just staying there for the summer. They start dating, and then for kind of reasons brought about by society, they end up breaking up. And he buys the house that she used to love looking at. That was like kind of a very old, dilapidated house. Was also the house that they first tried to have sex in. Yeah. Not joking. And then he like renovates the house, and she sees it in the paper, and then they reconnect and re-fall in love.
When you describe it like that, He's a psychopath.
He's completely psychopathic.
If someone did that,
Completely. Like, the first time he meets her, they're at, like, a fun fair. She's on a date with someone else, and they go on to, like, not a carousel, what's it called?
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. He climbs onto it, like, hangs on, like, with his bare hands in front of her, saying, go on a date with me, while she's next to her boyfriend, and basically threatens to commit suicide unless she agrees to go on a date with him. And then they're like, and then they fell in love. Like, it's like a montage of them falling in love, and like, oh, they're in love now. But I loved it.
At some points, they lie down in the middle of the road.
Yep, they lie down in the middle of the road.
Only together for a summer. He's the most toxic. He's worse than James Bond. He's a terrible bloke.
Yeah, like he's controlling himself. What's even worse is that he, you see him later on in the movie. He starts he has a relationship with this woman who's like a widow who looks just like Ali, the girl that he was in love with, like similar
Rachel
hair.
McAdams.
Yeah, looks just like her. And then when Rachel McAdams comes back into his life, drops this other woman like a hot stone, and like she's left like rejected and like sad, and like Ali has to like comfort her. It's like a whole thing. It's it's not great. And like, there's another, because basically it was supposed to be that he wrote her letters every single day for like a year after they kind of split up, and she never got the letters because her mum was hiding the letters from her because she disapproved of Ryan Gosling being poor and that. And then it turns out the mum had kept the letters all along for her, and admits that when she was younger, she had a summer romance with a poor boy, but they never worked out. And now she's like, no, daughter, I want you to find love with your poor boy. And that's why they get together. It is like a whole trip of a movie.
The writing a letter every day, like, kind of thing sounds like The Colour Purple, but pointless.
It really is. Like, she's like, why? There's one bit where they argue. She goes, why'd you never write me? And he's like, I've wrote you every day for a year. And like, it's just terrible.
Yes.
And like, then he kisses her in the rain, and it's so like, oh, like it is something.
This film came at peak Rachel McAdams. In 2004, The Notebook and Mean Girls.
It was very confused. It was a confusing time because she was great in Mean Girls, but I think a lot of people didn't realise that it was the same actress because she had very blonde hair as Regina.
I only just found out that was a wig.
What, the blonde?
Yeah.
Obviously it was a wig.
I didn't realise that. You're so stupid. It suited her, I'm sorry.
So that's my shame, is The Notebook. I highly recommend everyone go and watch it. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams are way better in that movie than the movie deserves.
I mean, it's a famous film, and lots of people have the relationship to The Notebook that you have, and I think that is purely on the genuine acting power of
also
Gosling
the fact
and
that
McAdams.
it is very emotionally manipulative through the framing device. So the reason it's called The Notebook is that the story of Ali and Noah, I think it's Noah is the boy's name. It's the framing device is an old man who visits a woman in a care home and reads her this story, and she has dementia and she keeps kind of forgetting parts of the story. And spoiler alert, it is Noah reading the story back to Ali, who's forgotten
the Princess
story.
Bride framing device of a story within a story.
It is fantastic, and like the ending will make you cry because it's very touching and beautiful and very emotive. So that's my pick of a movie that I loved as a teenager, still love now. Probably shouldn't, but still do.
If you had a daughter, show your teenage daughter that, or even if she was a child.
I wouldn't choose to show it to her, but I'd let her if she wanted to.
Would you then be like, this is not what a relationship should look like, child?
I mean, it depends, because like one of my close friends, she used to watch Disney princess movies with her mum, and her mum would literally be like, no, the prince wouldn't stay with her, he would leave her for another girl. Like, he doesn't mean that, he doesn't love her. And I feel like maybe that's a bit far for a child, so it depends. I think you got to put things in their context, but there is a sense of too far in some places.
Bring that child back down to her.
I hope you'd explain to the child that threatening suicide is no way to begin relationships.
But it's like you don't realise that that's what he is doing until you sit and think about it. Like, you just think he's being, like, cheeky, and it's like, no, he is threatening to kill himself unless she goes on a date with him. and then
Hideous.
goes insane and buys her a house thinking that she will come back to him, and then she does. And she has a fiance who's like this lovely like war hero who she like cheats on and leaves him to be with crazy Noah who has no prospects.
He's got a house.
He's got a nice house.
He turned his summer romance into a personality disorder. It's just...
It's like, it's a whole thing. I highly recommend you watch it. You've got time. We've got nothing but time. I'm going to watch Wild Wild West.
Right,
What, you're not going to watch Rush Hour 2 again?
I mean, nothing could ever entice me to watch that movie again. That was...
I still have the DVD.
I wish I should have, like, we moved our DVDs recently. Why do we still have... A, why do we still have DVDs? B, why do we still have that DVD?
When the internet freezes over, we're going to need something.
I was looking through our DVD collection the other day, and it's like, it is a trip, the things we have. Like,
There's
going
no
through some
rhyme
things,
or
I was
reason.
why do I have a copy of Casino Royale? I don't really care for that, but there's like so many movies where I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care for this movie, why do I I've got Madagascar on DVD.
Are you, like, still buying DVDs?
No, these like DVDs which I think my parents kind of like gave to me thinking I liked them. Or like, you know, when you sometimes like people would get you like a gift and you already have a copy of it, so you just give it to your kid. So I have a lot of that. I have a copy of Mad Max Fury Road, which I think is my newest DVD, because my brother's very difficult to buy things for Christmas, and I think 3 people bought him that on DVD because they knew he liked it. So I got a copy.
Nice.
I recently bought a DVD of it. It was for my mum for Mother's Day. It was a Sidney Poitier collection.
Oh, nice.
Because I didn't know she liked him, but she asked me recently about one of his films because she wanted to watch it. But because they're quite old, they're not really available anywhere. So I got her like a little collection. So that's the only reason I buy DVDs, because I do not have a player.
Oh, that's quite sweet. We've got Disney Plus now, so you don't need anything else.
No, yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Disney.
Or have you literally like deleted your Netflix and Amazon accounts now?
You don't need them with Disney Plus. It has hours and hours of content, free to stream anytime.
It's very impressive that our unnamed and unreleased podcast comes straight in with a high-profile sponsor.
Could you imagine if we got the,
We're not schlucking mattresses here. We've got Disney money, baby.
Can you imagine if we got the mouse to sponsor? That would never happen in a million evers.
No, we're sponsored by Movie Tropes from 2000 to 2005.
What is your favourite movie trope of that era?
Bloopers. Yep, bloopers.
Bloopers.
Solid. I'm going to go with mistreating women. That was my favourite.
Mine is going to be a weird colour contrast. Like, it's a little bit too bright, and everyone's kind of got a sheen on them.
Nice. Fair.
Yeah, everyone's kind of orange in Wild Wild West, just thinking about it.
Like, a bit of a sepia tone.
Yeah. What a great time.
What a time to be alive. Time to be alive. Right, I think that just about does it from us for this one. We'll be back at some point because we've got nothing else to do.
Record.
So thanks for listening if you have listened. And that means if you have listened, it means that one of us has bothered to edit this and put it together and put it out there. So we hope you enjoyed it. We hope we have a name for it. We will find out at some point. Thanks,
And
guys.
we hope we have a Danny for next episode.
Oh yeah, we were kind of a bit lost without Danny. Danny, we look forward to having you back. All right, bye guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Stay well, guys. Bye.
Bye.